everybody for waiting and your patience. Agenda item number 2, we're reconvening an open session. Number 2, possible action on fire and EMS services agreement between the Village of Palmyra and the town of Palmyra for the 2026 fire and rescue services. Josh had read the letter we received from the village prior to going into closed session. We are not at a place to approve or take any action on the contract at this point this evening. One, we would like to, Josh can probably speak to this more than I can, but we are not entirely sure of which language the village means in relation to their auditor. And the letter does not specifically specify exactly what the per call amount would be. It says approximately, or determining it, but without an exact figure, there's not a lot, you know. If we don't know an exact figure, we don't know exactly what it could be. We have ballparks, but we're just not prepared to do anything. What we would ask is that the village, we would like to propose a meeting on Monday the 29th here at the town hall, evening of the 29th at whatever time is good for the village, to have the village respond to us on these two things. Josh,
well, I guess the other question, as long as you're here, is has the village authorized whatever date? I don't have the date of the contract in front of me that was prior to the one that we proposed, but has the village authorized, the village board authorized the execution of that version of the contract?
We approved the wording on December 1st. So the version that happened after our last meeting. We approved a version in September, on our September meeting, and then after our last joint meeting that you requested, we approved the wording that was on December 1st.
Okay, so the version that had this is where things are getting a little muddy. So
just let me interrupt for 1 second.
Okay.
Just for the record, for people who may not know, and for the videos, we're speaking with Tim Gorsegner, the president of the Village Board of Palmyra.
So we had a joint meeting November 20th. We had sent 4 areas of revised language. You guys met, you approved 3 of the 4, changed language on the 4th one and sent that. That version has been approved by the board for you to execute.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on the town board to.
Okay. Well, one of the questions that I had, frankly, is whether or not you guys had to meet a second time between tonight and whatever date to sign it.
No.
Okay. So we did have questions again to what Rob alluded to, is the part about including language in the contract that requires the village to ignore guidance provided by the auditor. So we had gotten you revised language on the 4th, if that's what day it was, and we added an additional excerpt to that would still allow you to follow your auditor's advice, but it would still retain the town's right to be able to receive a budgetary surplus refund or allocation towards the next year of service. My question, I guess, one way or the other, whether we meet with the village as a whole or however that works, is if the point of that language you proposed is solely for the purpose of refunding the existing deficit, because we tried to be explicit in the response that we provided to the village that said the town's fiduciary position is that we have no interest in providing refunding to the deficit that the village created over the last 3-year term of the contract. And if that is what that language is meant for, then it's going to be a discussion and decision point for the town. If it's I'll say a misunderstanding or lack of understanding of what the village's point is on that language, we've only seen it in draft format. We haven't had a conversation between the boards or really anything other than this letter here, which doesn't exactly explain what the legal, right, there was two pieces that were provided to us. One was any applicable law or generally accepted accounting principle or opinion of. So there is no applicable law that would apply to the way that fund balances are handled, because if there was, there wouldn't be a deficit in that fund right now.
As I understand from discussion that Lori had with our auditor, there is no law on the books saying, well, if you have a surplus, it has to be applied to that.
Correct. That would be where the language of the contract for the service comes in, where we are requesting that. It doesn't have to be, but we are requesting that the town's portion get applied to a future year's service. So beyond that, any reasonable accountant or accounting standard would say is if you have a deficit in a fund and you have surplus funds, yes, you would refund that deficit to eliminate the deficit. That's something that is just a generally accepted accounting principle.
Yeah, if you're overdrafted on your checking account, you get a
Accountants get too much, yeah.
Right,
So
like we understand the principles behind that. The thing that we are asking for is that not that you ignore the guidance of your auditor, simply that whatever funds that you funded on the village's behalf, you can do with what you want, because there was also the way that we had proposed the language was a little bit boxy on what potentially the village could do with it. So I think some nuts of the whole thing is that the village is respectfully requesting the town to provide a response by the end of the day of today, whether it intends on executing a new contract prior to the end of this year. Our intent is, yes, we would like to execute an agreement prior to the end of this year. We would like to meet with you on the 29th to go through whatever else is left out of this, to be able to understand what the purpose of the village's proposed language was specifically, unless, you know, at some point in time, someone along the way can provide us with that information of what the net actual purpose of the language was, or if we're misunderstanding the purpose of that language. We're proposing the 29th to meet here, if that's a possibility, so that we can go through that.
talk to Lori tomorrow and she can say, well, what's everybody's availability? I know after tomorrow I'm totally free for the rest of the year, so that's a yes for me. But, you know, I can't speak for the rest of the board.
Yeah, the other piece, which is obviously this is an interim thing, so to answer the question is yes, we do intend on signing a contract by the end of this year.
In some form.
We also intend on getting the answers that we're looking for at the same point in time, but the $4,500 per call estimates and the fee schedule, is there any information that you can provide to us as far as when the village board is going to adopt said fee schedule or set amount?
Paul and the fire chief were still working that out, to the best of my knowledge. I haven't heard anything from them since last Friday, so I'm assuming that they're still working on that. That's why if I remember correctly, it was, you know, taking what we are budgeting for and, you know, for this next year, it was divided by 89 calls, something like that. There were the town calls, and that's where that just initial, like, let's just do something real quick, just so that there's at least a talking point. Whether they get into more specifics, that's not my department necessarily. You know,
sure.
Not up to me, but if they're a good recommendation from the public safety director and the fire chief, then we can give you a better answer. But in the meantime, I can shoot I can shoot Lori an email this evening to say, well, we try to put something together for Monday, because I think the big thing is if you decide not to do it and we go the other route, I think we'd have to have some type of I think the lawyer said that we'd have to do some type of resolution to, you know, formalize a charge per call.
That was kind of my last question, is
Yes.
whether or not obviously, I think this is the first piece of mail that I've gotten from the village addressed to me here since
Yeah.
2023. And it's signed, and I didn't know if the intent of this was that your attorney.
Well, he
Is-
wrote the
is-
letter, I just.
I understand that.
There's
No offense, I didn't think you knew case law that well.
No,
My question is whether or not the intent of this was a legally binding bridge between now and the day that we come to resolution on a contract.
well, just basically, if we don't have something by the end of the year, we're just saying, basically saying, we're letting you know that we're still gonna come to any emergencies, because, we're not gonna say.
Appreciate it.
That is
Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's just a factor of, we wanna have, still have compensation,
Sure.
but then, the whole point is like, well, then it's beyond, every time you get a call for a call, you're gonna pay it when the bill comes due instead of what's prescribed and what's in the proposed agreement, where it's what, January 15th is the first one, and it's every quarter after that, so.
Okay. Well, I guess just to formalize it and put a stamp on it, I would move that the town board formally request a meeting with the village board of trustees on December 29th at the town hall, or frankly at the village hall, if it suits you, at a time in the evening that is suitable for your attendance.
I would say at least no earlier than 5 o'clock. Because I think that's when a lot of people can come home. Chris, being between Christmas and New Year's, some other people on the board can be just like me, where I'm taking off between Christmas and New Year's, and I'm available. But
Sure.
I would say no. But I can check with Lori tomorrow. She can send out an email if it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 5:30. I don't care where it is. I mean,
If you want it at 6:03, that's fine too.
whatever. And right after
That's
Gajewski,
appreciated.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll wait to hear from you.
okay, we'll let you know by the end of the day tomorrow.
Sounds good, thank you.
Need for anything else?
No, but thank you for coming tonight, and allowing us to do this discussion of purpose versus trying to put it together through emails.
Yeah. Just looking at the time, gotta get home and throw burgers on the grill for the family, so.
Better get the headlight going then.
Well, if we get done,
I was gonna say, we'll be there in a half hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what time is those gonna be ready?
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Have a good night.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, item number 3, discussion and possible direction regarding inquiry about holding a wedding ceremony on airport property.
That be me?
That would be you. Before we discuss it, please feel free to.
So my daughter is gonna get married in September. She really is into the aviation thing, and so is her husband. And they were originally gonna look at possibly up at Oshkosh, and we were gonna rent out a venue from there. Then they asked, could we have it at Palmyra instead? I'm like, I don't know, I'll find out. We kind of scoped out the maintenance building over here, plenty big enough for 100 folks to come in. We cleaned the thing up ourselves to have a decorator come in. Be no charge to anybody else, anybody on the field will all be covered by us. The only thing is I need the building for about 3 days to get it all set and prepped for them to do their wedding.
Have you brought this to
The commission, yeah.
Board of Commissioners?
Yep, the commissioners have been notified. I didn't want to put you guys all in the same email because I figured nobody would respond then. But that's where I've already talked to them about it. The only questions they have is possibly insurance, because we'd have a mobile bar that would be showing in. And I'd have a bartender that would have to be insured by the state of Wisconsin, or, licensed and insured via state of Wisconsin. And general liability, I figured, is already on the airport. So if I have to get a special event license or insurance to do this, I have no problem reaching out to do that. It's just for 1 day event, 100 people that are gonna be here. And nobody will be into the airplane area. It's more gonna be contained to the maintenance building. A couple planes parked out by the north side of the garage doors, like a backdrop. And some guests showing up.
There. Understand the request, certainly understand the request, especially given the background that
Yeah,
you mentioned.
well, I live up here just about, so.
And we are,
Pretty much.
I'm not gonna say we, I have some concerns.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they're not able to be overcome. But the BOA and the FAA, where do they stand on actions like this? And that's a rhetorical question, we have
Yeah.
to check with them. I mean, if you.
I can reach out and ask them, I mean, I got the contacts there,
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be basically, you guys own the airport, I mean, we could have a chili cook-off at the clubhouse, it's literally the same thing.
My concern is we're not an event center, that's one of my concerns. Insurance, are we covered? You mentioned it, we will have to check with our insurance company. I would suggest that the airport commission also check with their insurance company.
Well, what if I got event insurance for this specific day?
We still have to contact our insurance company to see if they accept that,
Okay,
okay? So discussion with both of our insurance companies, so I'll leave that up to you to contact Alan to make sure, or Jeff to make sure.
well, I was contacted Jeff about that already, I haven't got an answer back yet.
All right.
But
the other-
how's that for your guys' team though?
We'll reach out to our insurance.
Okay,
Because there are portions of overlap and portions of not overlap with insurance regarding the airport, where the airport flying club has some, the airport itself has some, the town has some are the same, some are different, whatever. In the big picture of things, I would wanna make sure that if, number one, if, I would echo Rob's concern on the BOA and FAA part of things, because I've been told all sorts of different stories about what can and can't happen at the maintenance garage. Like, you can't have town meetings there because it's an airport function and all this other kind of stuff. I'm just telling you.
yeah, I know,
I've been,
I know the
So
stupid
to-
rhetoric that's gone
to
around, but
either-
we've had elections at the same building and that was fine too.
I understand
So I
that,
mean,
so that,
I'll reach out to the BOA myself, I mean, I still got some contacts from before. And I'll get you guys an answer on that, I'll tell them the event, and I'll forward copy you guys on the
And we
email.
would request not just a verbal,
No,
them through you to us.
yeah, I know, I'm gonna copy
Yeah,
you guys on the email.
Whether it's Sam or
Right.
whoever, send us a formal
Yeah, I want a response and I'll have you guys included on the same thing. But you guys shouldn't have to reach out for my request, is what I'm kinda going with.
but
You know, I could reach out to Sam and you guys will be included on the same chain.
we can, I think, get a hold of our insurance
Yep,
on our own behalf, cause like having don't take this the wrong way, having a civilian contact the town's insurance company and ask.
yeah, I should know, I'm not gonna contact your
We'll
insurance,
take care of
but
it.
So-
the BOA, like I said, I got a little,
Another concern is the alcohol part.
mm,
Obviously, we have to talk to our insurance company about that. But you brought up one I had not thought of. You said you would need the building for 3 days.
yes,
We need to get the airport, Jeff and Al, to talk to us about what impact is that gonna have on the
Well,
airport,
I'm the guy that's doing it all, so if you wanna know
That's
the
fine.
impact,
Let me finish.
yeah.
We wanna understand what impact, where are all the equipment gonna be stored for 3 days, or gonna be left outside?
Yep.
What insurance impact is that, if any, may not be, but what if, and this is in September,
Mhm.
you know, obviously weather plays a big part of this. When I'm bringing up weather, I'm talking significant weather. Okay?
Tornado, yeah.
Bad
Yeah, that's-
storm, something like that. I mean, obviously, that would impact the wedding, but does it impact the town and the airport from a equipment standpoint? Being able to handle that?
It's all rated to be outside. I mean, there's nothing I'm gonna take outside of the building that can't be outside. I mean, most of the equipment is farm implements, I should say, that I'd have to take out there, and the rain isn't gonna hurt it, I'll probably clean it.
Anyway, just something we have to
Yeah.
follow up with Jeff and Al and figure out. So, anything else on this?
Well, the same email that I gave you guys is the same copy that I gave the town. So just like I stated in the same thing, they've already been informed. If you guys wanna reach out to them, contact them yourself, feel free to. It's just, I do need to get a response at some point, so I can start planning this.
That was gonna be my question, is what kind of a turnaround are you looking for realistically?
A month?
Okay.
I don't think we'll have a problem getting you
Okay.
information. And we're not, at this point, we're not opposed.
Mhm.
We're not for, we just have to follow up all these
Sure.
issues, I'll call them issues, not concerns. Issues that we have to get answers on and things like that, so.
Because we
Which
don't
device?
have a community center at the airport, if you wanna call it that, that was built and designed for that. That's my concern, is that we do a ton of CYA to make sure that it's not only CMA, but it's CYA
Yep.
on this whole thing, to make sure that if there's a zoning problem, if there's a village special
I
events
talked to the
permit,
village about
if
it, they
there's
don't
a-
require any permit. I've already went and talked to up at the village to see if there's any requirements from them. They said it's basically back to the town itself.
And I'll throw out one other,
No offense, but it would be sweet if we got that.
I'll get an email
as
back from
well,
them.
just
I'll-
because.
I'll get an email back from them too. It's this 3-headed monster I gotta deal with to get through, so.
the other thing that pops into my mind also, and certainly understand, like I said, the background and why, the why you want it here. But it not being an event center, I'm also concerned about the precedent
Yes.
it sets. And potential, well, why did
Yep.
we approve for
Do
you,
you
but we're
guys
not
wanna
gonna
rent
approve
it to me then?
What's that?
Do you wanna rent the building?
Then it becomes an event. I think
Well,
that
like I
takes
said,
us down a
this-
whole
yeah.
nother path, so just things
Yeah.
we need to figure out here. So appreciate you giving us a month, I don't know if I don't think it'll take us that long
Okay.
to get back to you. I don't know, I'm not gonna commit to it, but maybe we can have information back in time to take it up at our January board meeting.
Okay.
Not committing to that yet, because I don't know how long it's gonna take to get some of this information back. But we'll do it, we'll work on it as expeditiously as we can for you.
You guys want me to get your emails together from the commission and the town? Cause they've already responded somewhat. I got it from Lou and Al already.
Would need to see their responses.
Okay, I could forward that to you guys. Like I said, I just didn't wanna get everybody in one big chain because then I think that nobody would want to answer at all.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
What
Jim,
about-
I know how this
what
works
about
somewhat.
quorum?
Yeah.
If they send it to
Hang
them?
on, Jim, no,
Does
they
it-
can
does
send
it
it, you can send it to
matter?
both of us, we just can't reply.
They can't reply
Matter
to
if
it.
it's the village liquor license or the town liquor license. Which one approved?
It would be village, because we're sitting in the village of Palmyra.
They're not selling, so they don't need a liquor license.
Okay. I don't think it matters, but
That's all part of what we'll have discussions with insurance companies. So, any other questions or comments? Are you okay with? what
Like I
we
said, I'm just looking to keep things moving along.
Appreciate
You
that.
saw my daughter is on the email chain too. She's not living down here right now. She's in Bemidji. So, I mean, I'll keep her informed, but, if you guys could give us some kind of formal response, you know, whether you're just looking into it, only one person, if you want it to be like that, I mean, just looking for some kind of response on this to keep it moving forward too.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Anything else on that subject? Appreciate you being here and willing to come in.
Yeah.
After you came back and talking to us about it.
Okay.
Appreciate
Awesome.
that. Okay, thanks. That's number 3. Number 4, appointment of town board member to the airport commission. Unfortunately, as I think we all know, obviously we know Frank has passed, unfortunately, but that left an opening on the airport commission, and we have to, in a timely fashion, appoint somebody. Josh, did you have anybody you wanted to appoint?
I do not have a candidate other than potentially Rob Martin.
Do you wanna make a motion to fill that?
I would move to appoint Rob Martins to fill the town board
Go ahead, Rob.
vacancy on
Nominate
the
him too.
airport.
One of us has to do it, so I second that motion.
You need to step up, Ron.
Is that roll call or?
You can.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, motion's been made to appoint Rob Martins, that's me, to the Airport Commission to fill the position by, that was previously held by Frank Sauter. The motion has been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Motion to adjourn?
Is that, or are you looking at one?
Fine, I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
6:13.
Motion passes. Thank you, everybody.